on the line.
We go?
Are you ready, Breeze fans?
All right, folks. Welcome to Check. Can you talk for me? Yeah.
Hey, Greg.
Check. All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome to Hotchkiss Field at Gallaudet University. You're tuning into an edition of Blown Coverage here for the DC Breeze. As I said, my name is Greg Esser. I'm alongside Françoise Delisle. Thank you for joining me.
Hi.
So we got an exciting game here today. It's between the Montreal Royale and the DC Breeze, two teams that are both 3-2, about almost near at the halfway point, really, in this 2017 AUDL season. We're witnessing an opening drive for the DC Breeze O-line as we speak. Franco, I'm going to call you that. That's your kind of ultimate name throughout the game. And actually, we are witnessing a opening point score there. Max Castle breaking through and holding par for the Breeze to go up 1-0 in this early game. But Franco, why don't you tell me a little bit first about yourself? You have a long and storied ultimate history yourself, having played in Canadian Nationals and Worlds over in Europe. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Okay. Hi. Well, I'm from Montreal. I played mainly, I started playing late. I played flag football, other sports. And when I got into the game in Montreal, the great women's player were starting a Masters team. So I ended up playing a couple of years Masters, and last year on the Canadian Nationals Women's Masters team.
Well, it's great to have you with me today. So the first thing I want to talk about a little bit is about what's going on. I want to talk a little bit about kind of the major themes to today's game. And the first one I want to talk about is the completion percentage. It's always a stat I talk about. Hey, individual handlers, they complete 88, 90, 92% of their throws. But there is, as teams go, a somewhat large statistical difference between the Royale, the visiting Royale, and the Breeze today. The Royale maintain a 90% completion percentage passing as a team. The Breeze have a 92%. What that says to me is out of 100 throws, the Royale are going to turn 2 or 3 more over the course of today. And there is a little bit of a stiff Breeze. You saw it there, lift up the disc. McDonald picks up a block, and now he's playing in the backfield. McDonald, a little give and go with, I think that was Shields, 21 in the backfield.
Yeah, definitely the wind can be on the Breeze advantage today.
No pun intended. We do a lot of puns here.
Okay.
The Breeze works in 2 ways, right? It's in the Breeze's favor to have a little wind.
Right. Okay. I'll wait before my next comment.
No. You're perfect. You're right. You're right on target for blown coverage.
Yeah, I'm trying to be as semi-professional as possible. All right, long throw for Montreal. The wind got into it. Yep.
So I guess the point I was trying to make in a long-winded fashion, again talking about wind, is that Montreal, I expect to see a couple more unforced turnovers today because they have that lower completion percentage at a team. And I think it'll be difficult for Montreal to play with this wind and complete those passes. We see a long throw go up by McDonald. It is too far for the intended target. That's McDonald's 4th turnover of the year. He has a very good turnover percentage, 10 assists to now only 4 turnovers. But not good to see out of the early game. A long defensive point here by the Breeze.
So Félix-Antoine Deggs picks up the disc on the end zone in the middle of the field.
So the other great thing, Franco, in having you here today is I think because you've lived and played Ultimate so long in Montreal, you've played with and watched a lot of these players for a long time.
Yeah, well, I haven't been playing for that long, but I've been watching and, playing, of course, with some of those players, but most of them are not playing anymore because we all get older. So,
that may be true.
Yeah, this year Montreal changed their roster to have younger and taller guys. They have imports from France, the US, and Colombia as well.
So David Bloodgood puts up the pool. Again, the Breeze shooting for the end zone on this D-line early and often. The intended target there, Egan, but Egan maybe on a little bit of a mismatch. It was Quentin Bonneau that got the block for the Royale.
Okay, Jeanette got that dump. So turnover, Rowan McDonald on the door of the end zone.
So here's the Breeze offense working again, or really their defense working on offense once again. Here's Agan, McDonald, and it looks like there's an early timeout. Coach Stanley did not like what he was seeing there out of the offense the D-line was running, and he sees an early opportunity for a break.
I think the wind is picking up a bit as well compared to their warm-up in the last hour, I think an hour ago. So yeah, they need to adjust with the wind.
Yeah. So from your playing experience then, what would you say, if you see a stiff wind for the game, what do you turn around and advise your fellow players? How do you treat that as a player?
Well, I believe starting strong and to score like the Breeze does is very important, like mentally. So I would strongly suggest to be conservative to score, no turnover offense.
Turnover offense.
Yeah.
But the wind, of course, makes that a little bit more tricky.
Yeah, safer pass. The long passes we saw, there was no completion yet. I think there was two, three turnovers on long passes, so they need to adjust.
Yeah, one of the things that I think would advise a team is no disc is ever on the ground till it's on the ground.
Yeah.
The wind's going to play with it. It's going to move that disc in funky, unpredictable ways.
Yeah.
And if you run through it, you might get that big block that you might not have expected. And maybe you're going to catch that score when you also didn't expect it to go right over that defender.
Agreed. The focus and the power of wanting the disc can play a lot during windy games.
So here we see some more offensively focused players. Lloyd Blake with the disc dumps off to Neely.
We have
inside, it's Monroe.
Zach on the field for the first time.
And Castle on the far sideline. Dumps off to Blake. Wodach. Wodach looks upfield, finds 81, that's Alexander Taylor.
Yep.
And a little bit of a hand block there and a beauty by a 20.
Nathan Dandurand.
Dandurand. But it's not enough, and Blake eventually finds Castle to net that break for the Breeze and run it to 2-0.
Well, I guess that was a good timeout call by the DC Breeze. They managed to complete and score their second goal of the game.
So for folks that may not know the AUDL rule set as much, the timeout is a particularly valuable strategic option because it allows you to change the personnel on the field.
Yeah.
In club play, what you and I are most used to, the timeout gets you a sip of water, but it doesn't get you the ability to put out entirely different players. And I think we saw Stanley use it really well there to put out his offensive line that he's already, gotten some courage, seen some action already tonight, and they were able to stuff in that break. And I think this is really what we've seen out of the Breeze a lot in this young season, is they've shown an ability to really convert well on offense, but the defensive line has been, dare I say, weak at converting possession. I mentioned they've got a high completion percentage as a team, which is really good, but they don't earn a lot of blocks. And Montreal, in fact, earns more blocks per game than the Breeze do.
Indeed, I think their leader in blocks on defense for Montreal is André Arsenault, which is present today. Nasser with the disc.
Nasser with the disc right now, and I think he's actually the block leader, sitting at 9 or 7 for the year, maybe.
Okay. Well, I guess André Arsenault is not far behind. Long throw from Genet to Nasser, big layout attempt, but just a little too far. Maybe two-hand, it's hard to see from here.
And now we'll see the Breeze resume possession on D-line, see if their D-line can't be a little bit more effective. Agan with a big cut, looked off by the thrower, Shields. It's Castine with the disc in the center. And this interesting for Nate Castine is actually his first action of the year, shooting deep. Richards is the target. Will he catch up? No, it is overthrown, and overthrown by 5-10 yards. That's going with the wind, so that disc really took off on Richards. He took a while to get a good read. So we've got Montreal picking up the disc. It's going to be Delisle on the near sideline. You're gonna need to help me with my French pronunciation.
Yeah, it's okay.
How should I Delisle it?
Delisle. He's one of the captain with Quinlan.
I've taken 3 years of French, but let's just say they didn't go too well.
That's all right. My English is not very good, but at least
don't
I can help
apologize
with
for your English. You're doing a broadcast in English right now.
All right, floater. Richard with the defense.
And again, the wind really playing with that disc. We're seeing a sloppier game, but it's because there's 12-mile-an-hour gusts right now, maybe.
Right. That's a lot of long throws not completed yet.
And here's Duke with an under. Boylan Colchin. Up long. Nice cut from behind the disc to Castine. Knocked out of power position by Nasser. Really nice body up on that without drawing a foul. Richards underneath. A little bit of a double team out of Montreal. And behind Shields that disc was, but didn't make a difference. Here's Egan. Fighting the bump and grind game is Bartenstein, who ends for the end zone.
And Genet with a great defense, I guess.
Antoine Genet picks up a D, because there's two of them.
Yeah, of course, his brother.
Double trouble.
Easy D for Antoine. I think it was just a little too short.
And the Genet brothers have been staples around the Montreal community for a long time. Is that right?
In fact, they are not from Montreal. They are from Trois-Rivières, which is maybe an hour away from Montreal. But they've been around, of course, since the AUDL started.
And shooting deep is number 81. The intended target is Delisle.
Bartenstein with the defense on Delisle.
And the Breeze with another chance. Here's Cantone on the near sideline. Richards hangs up a little bit, shields the target. And a lot of contact. Shields wants a penalty, and he's gonna get it. He had a height mismatch on number 33, and that's Jacob Saunders, a guy that actually my roster is showing was inactive until before the game today, so maybe a last-minute need or the wind forced him into action. Shields now centers a disc. And finds Egan for a score. Every inch worth the same except for that one. To cross that line, you only need an inch to do it, and that's what they do.
So another break for DC. It's the second break for DC.
Second break in a row for DC is right. So I'm sure you've also seen this playing situation, or maybe even been in it yourself. You know, what do you do to kind of rally the morale in a 3-0, tough 2 breaks early in a game? You know, what changes mentally in you at this time?
It depends on each player. In fact, the head coach of Montreal, Guylaine Girard, which is not here today, is super good about mental preparation. So it really depends on each player. Sometimes maybe too low or too highly activated. So you need to adjust according to yourself and the situation. So
you're saying Montreal maybe needs to place a phone call?
Maybe, but they are in good hands right now. Usually it's Caroline Cadot who's taking charge since Guylaine is not around, but she is not here today because I think her due date for the baby is next week. So we have Jean-Lévis
Champagne. She's making more Montreal Royals.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. So, Jean-Lévis Champagne is coaching the team today.
And that was some good mental toughness to come back out on the field. It's Jordan Taylor that gets the score for the Royale and takes them from 0-1. It's now a 3-1 game here at Gallaudet University. I did want to take an early opportunity to thank some of our sponsors here for the AUDL and for the DC Breeze. Of course, Discraft Discs, a sponsor of the AUDL. Eric, early recognition is critical. Beat cancer and recognize it early. But also local sponsors, Papa John's Pizza, Port City Brewing, as well as Oak Creek Apparel and the Big Board. The Big Board, of course, the spot for after the game drinks with the team, with the coaches. Sometimes some of the visitors join us as well, and we'll be out there tonight like no other. Rain or shine, win or loss, you can find us at the big board. And the one thing that is really advantageous for this wind is the pooling game, the ability to perform the throw-off in Ultimate, and it really hangs there until Zach Norbom eventually secures it.
Great attempt by Jeff Wodach for a layout bid on Lloyd's Blake pass.
So that's not good to see out of Lloyd Blake early as the completion percent leader of any player on DC with over 100 passes or attempted passes in 2017. He gets his third throwaway of the season. And a wide open
throw from Kevin Groot to the Colombian.
Martinez, another late add to the roster. Martinez now looks upfield into space.
David
nice
Valle.
Find of Valle. Oh, but Valle camps a little bit too much behind the disc, and it's Max Castle that bats it away.
So DC back on offense.
That's right.
Zach Norbom going long.
And a big throw from Monroe.
Big throw indeed. Maybe a little too big.
Yeah, this when DC is on the defensive side of the disc, there have been a lot of back and forth. Not very clean offense out of Montreal, and not very clean offensive offense out of the defensive line for the Breeze.
I think both teams are missing lots of their players as well.
That is also a very good point.
Callahan, Lloyd Blake. No, call.
I think it was a foul actually that he drew. Could have been a Callahan. It was close. Martinez did just enough to get his body there, and it's going to draw a penalty. 10 yards awarded to the Royale.
Okay.
It was exciting. You're absolutely right that a lot of players are missing from today's roster. Montreal did wonders this year to draw three Bostonians onto the roster, and none of the three of them are in the nation's capital tonight. They also are, I mean, that's real the noticeable absence. And then I guess actually Philippe
Tivierge, right?
Tivierge.
He does
another
pull
notable absence.
for the Montreal Royale. Alexander Taylor with the score.
The Breeze, on the other hand, are missing at least three big names, if not more, and many of them really defensive players. The exception being Alan Kolick, who had 4 goals up in Toronto, was really hitting his stride in the 2017 season. He's out today, but players with a lot of blocks. Delrico Johnson, he's the third on the team with 111 points played. He's out today. He's also the block leader. Of the top 6 players on DC in terms of blocks, 4 of them are actually out this weekend. And I think that's going to be, I mean, we've seen the Wind is the secret 8th defender for DC, and that's proving well.
Maybe they don't need those blocks today.
But without those 4, the DC need to find a way to generate their own blocks in addition to the one that Mother Nature is lending them.
Yeah.
We're already down to 20 seconds here in the first quarter. This game ticks right by with lots of turnovers. We've seen a lot of games that go into the second quarter with 11, 12 points scored. Only 5 on the board right now. So let's see if Montreal can put a 6th up there and hold clean on this offensive line.
Yeah, I believe the second point was pretty long. Kevin Groux with the disc to Antoine Genet. They are really stretching the field, the Montreal offense.
Let me see, Cantone and Shields putting on a loose bracket in the backfield. A big fly goes up. Time expires. And Rowan McDonald. Rowan McDonald scoops it up. He guns it back, but time is long out by that point. Just getting fancy there, Rowan McDonald is.
Yeah. Well, that was an interesting first quarter of the game.
I mean, it looks like DC is really taking advantage of those turnovers a little bit better than their compatriots in Montreal. Yeah, the wind is definitely playing a factor. The disc is never down, and also a lot of the throws downfield, particularly as they are throwing. It's a wind that's going south. The throws that go south on this field, that go left from right on your computer monitor, are throwing downwind, and those are hard throws to read. They're hard throws to catch up to. We're seeing the cutters.
Yes. Yeah. No comments on that. I figure both coaches are gonna focus on offense for this speech during this in between those quarters.
One of the other things that I might add to a team that's playing in a lot of wind is shorten up some of the passes.
Of course.
We're seeing players that are used to being able to go 40, 50 yards on this very large AUDL field, and I don't think those looks are going to work as much today.
Exactly. You don't need to change your style. You just have to pump fake it and throw it to, like you said, a cutter that is maybe not deep.
And so we're going to see Montreal start this half on offense, which bodes well for them because they currently sit at a 3-goal deficit. Another one of the sponsors I wanted to call attention to here today, or community partners if you will, is the AUA, the American Ultimate Academy, which is an organization that promotes Ultimate in the youth and run a lot of clinics around DC. So a lot of thanks for all the support and the partnership between the AUA and the DC Breeze.
It's fun to see all those younger players on the DC Breeze today. We're more used to see kind of the same core players taking lots of playing time, but it's fun to see Zach Norbrom, Richards, Taylor, those younger kids to have more experience.
Yeah, the one young player that I'll draw a little extra attention to is actually a player that I played with before wearing the subtle stars of the DC Breeze, and that's number 1, Zach Norbrom. We saw him streaking deep there in the second to last play of the first quarter. Zach Norbrom is actually a second-year returner on the Breeze after a 3-year absence. He's hitting just 23, but he also has 5 years of pro experience, 1 with the Breeze, and then maybe there's actually 4 years of experience, 2 over in the MLU.
Yeah, Zach is an awesome player. I had the chance to play with him last year on a mixed team, AG. Very impressive.
And Nasser shooting deep. Marcus All gets skied. Number 9, great play by Rick Maxwell. Sorry, Maxwell Rick.
Yep. This number 8 from the Montreal Royal did dominate kind of the game against Phoenix last week. He's, I think, a new addition this year, but I'm not sure where he's from. I guess he's an American too?
I think he's a New Yorker. I can't be quoted on that, but if you say an American, I'll buy it. It's certainly one of the more American names on the roster.
He's not from Quebec. He's not from Colombia, so I guess...
The Royal are the world's team this year.
Yep, this year, yeah, they did lots of importation.
They're repping the West Hemisphere at every opportunity. So the Montreal hold to start off the second quarter. And now a Breeze O-line takes over. You see Norbom, you see Neely in the backfield. Up line, Monroe now on the far sideline. Taylor dumps off to Wodach.
Oh.
And Wodach, another turn. That's been a real trouble for him in this young season. Wodach, yeah, a low completion percentage in the mid-80s, not looking too good. And it will be a conversion out of Jordan Taylor for the Montreal Royal. They will take advantage of that turnover.
A throw from Gabriel Monfette, one of their main handler too. He's been on the team, on the Montreal Royal since the beginning.
Since the inception.
Yeah. He's one of the few left. I think there's only him, JP Riopel, and Felix Antoine Deg left on the team.
Well, the only one the Breeze have is Zach Norbom. So
awesome. The youngest.
6-on-1.
Wow.
But that was a really tough throw too, because he was looking into the wind. You could see how the disc kind of dove away from its recipient. Not an easy throw to make in what was a gust of wind.
Yep.
Probably a 15-mile gust of wind.
So now the Breeze on offense with a D line, well, a mixed line with some offensive players like Lloyd Blake, but defensive players too, like Austin Bartenstein, Rowan, Chuck Cantone. So Lloyd with the disc.
That's exactly right, and that really is the Daryl Stanley philosophy. I was able to talk to him at the beginning of the season, is he doesn't like the same set of players ever getting broken twice. And a lot of bump and grind between McDonald and Martinez there. McDonald going deep. He's not the target, it's Bloodgood. Bloodgood just a little short there. Left his feet, but a little too late, not quite enough.
Yeah, I believe it was a throw by Austin Bartenstein. Montreal on offense.
Here's Cantone on the mark.
Oh, nice defense by Lloyd Blake. Lloyd is a very good player on defense. Last year I had the opportunity to see him play against Antoine Davis, which is an awesome player too, and he managed to shut him down on a club level. It was regional last year. Yeah,
he's quick and he's tall and he's got a wingspan to boot.
Low profile, yeah. Very good player.
McDonald gets a score on that, and that connection actually, I had mentioned only 2 of the top 6 block getters on the Breeze are active today. That's the pair, it's Blake and McDonald. And Blake adds another one to the resume. So those are 2 quicker points. We've got 10 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock here in the second. And we'll see if we settle into a rhythm at this point.
Yep.
2 holds, which didn't happen back-to-back the entire first quarter.
So Antoine Genet picks up the disc, works with Delisle. Again, handlers playing together.
Antoine Genet. Wow, in a narrow window that he finds and a hammer over the top. Beautiful
great
placement.
Catch. Great throw by the captain, Quinlan, to Quentin Bonneau.
That's a weapon that Quinlan loves showing off, is that big hammer over the top. And he found the little bit of calm in the night. The wind seemed to die. He quieted it and quieted the audience a little bit with that throw.
Yeah, he masters that throw perfectly as well, so yep.
And it was Quentin Bonneau that caught the disc for Montreal. 1-point game here in DC.
Yeah, Quentin Bonneau was, I believe, on ESPN, the top plays, the ESPN top 10 last week. With a great...
that's absolutely right.
Yeah, layout hammer catch he got.
And of course, DC was also in that top 10 last week with Alan Kolick, but Alan Kolick didn't come to the party today. DC missing their top 10 rep. Norbum, nice inside break. Wodach. Wodach up line, finds Norbum right back. And now it's Monroe, far sideline, dumps to Norbum, every other for Norbum. Norbum had a 95 completion percentage last time he played with the Breeze in 2013, which was very high on a team that only averaged 88% that year. Underneath, Wodach. Now Blake. Not a lot of options in the end zone. Monroe underneath. Now back to Blake, use that horizontal space. And finally, finding Brian Nam in the end zone for the score.
Lloyd Blake did a really good job at controlling the offense in the red zone on that point. He did really great.
Yeah, that was a good, even though the Breeze got the score on that, I think you have to tally that as some of the first real success we've seen out of the Montreal defense. It wasn't a turnover aided by wind, that was just really grinding, taking away all the options, really made DC work hard to find that spot. and down the road, a tired offense is usually not a very effective one.
Absolutely.
And 5:30 p.m. versus York, and Sunday, June 11th versus Toronto. These are two more huge games in our quest.
So you'd mentioned kind of a changing of the guard in Montreal, and I was able to talk to Chuck Cantone a couple weeks about it as well. But how would you characterize that? You know, there are still a couple players floating around the Montreal Royale that played 3 years ago, but in a lot of ways it's been a change in the guard this year. They've gone more international, imported some players. How has the team changed this year?
I think they mainly have a younger and a taller team this year. I think
Good, well, I don't know about younger players as I'm an older one, but certainly taller can be better.
Yeah, and well, in terms of speed, I think they are faster this year. A big
Scuba
defense.
that Cantone picks up a D on. Again, just hung a little bit with the wind. And the Breeze convert. Number 30, it's Bloodgood with the score. Sorry, we interrupted you for the action on the field. So, taller, younger team?
Yep, so, yeah.
Does that change anything about the mentality of the team, or maybe the mentality of the team now that it's got some imports around, some Frenchmen, Colombian, Americans?
I believe because they have players from all around, they must have to work harder to build chemistry, so that can be an advantage for them. But you know, I haven't been around in Montreal since the last 2 years,
Yeah.
so but they are in really good hands. So I'm sure they did the right choice.
Yeah.
I believe it's
And you've certainly seen them play this year, so that makes you an authority as well.
Yeah, and I watched the last game, Montreal against the Phoenix, and their offense was very clean, and you can see some, they are faster and taller compared to the years before.
So it is Janae that starts with the disc, finds number 33 immediately. That's Saunders. Upfield now it's Nasser. Nasser floats one up.
For
And that is the wrong guy to throw it to. Rowan McDonald gets up on a ladder. Nasser on the mark, can't stop. Bloodgood from wetting one loose. John Walden catches it easily. Good separation earned by Walden, and a score for the Breeze. Doubling up the Royale now at 8-4. A quick pair of breaks.
Yeah, I believe the matchup Quentin Bonneau against Rowan McDonald is interesting.
Rowan McDonald sometimes seems like a guy that, you know, he doesn't stand out enough to be avoided. But when you realize a disc that goes up a jump ball like that, despite his stature, he will get up in the air.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a solo player. He doesn't look like nothing, but it's one of those guys
He's one of those guys with springs for legs.
It's a game changer. He's a game changer. All right, Montreal on offense again.
And they've changed up the personnel a little bit more this time. You can see Andre Arsenault, a guy with some crucial cuts this year in the most important moments, takes the field. He wasn't out there last point. We'll see if Montreal can convert. Steve Bonneau back to receive. One of the Frenchmen is Steve Bonneau. And a quick throwaway. Lloyd Blake could have had a D, decided not to, and the disc still drops almost. Sorry, it might have been Richards actually that decided not to touch it. And a throwaway right back. Richards gets a little hungry, aims for Cantone, but swatted away by the O-line of Montreal.
Yeah, he didn't have much room on the line there.
And a nice pass underneath, finds Taylor. Taylor looking, opts for a swing. It's Bonneau, Steve. Underneath for Ferraro. And eventually crammed in their own backfield. They opt for the big throw.
Nathan Dandurand with the catch.
And number 5, Taylor, goes end to end with the first initiation cut and the final score cut.
Yep, great long cut by Nate Dandurand to finish the job. with an assist.
So that was really interesting too, is that the Montreal offense really got kind of cramped in their own backfield. They got frustrated, they let one fly. It was a good time to let it fly, certainly, but looked like a little bit of frustration from 2 or 3 passes that weren't earning any yards.
Yeah, I think it's a really good adjustment. I think it's the first long pass we see that well completed. Yeah. Or the second
and maybe that's
one.
the adjustment we need to see Montreal make, because they need to, really be a threat in any place on the field.
Right.
I think that's a good takeaway from that point.
So I'm wondering if when Montreal went up, because I know as a semi-professional team, guys, when they do have to travel that far, it can be really hard to play at your best when you're not necessarily in top shape.
That's right. So it was interesting on that pool that Montreal actually opted for a roller, and a quick turnover is going to give the disc to Montreal here with Taylor Monroe on the mark, but a break 49 throwing Delisle, a beautiful pass right up the line. Quinlan with the catch for Montreal.
Yeah, it was a pass from one captain to another captain.
It's what they call the ship pass, captain to captain.
Okay, good one. Yeah, great job by Montreal for the fast break.
So it was interesting on that pool, and we'll see if Montreal opts to do it again. The rolling pool, right out of bounds, put Neely on the sideline, had double coverage put on him right away. And the reason that's particularly noteworthy is the 2 guys that usually pool for Montreal, which are Philippe Sivierge.
Yeah, perfect. Yep.
Thanks, Madame Françoise, Professor, however you say that. And then the other guy, of course, the Boston import Christian Foster. Both those guys out today. So we're seeing maybe the Royale get a little bit more creative with effective hucks. And Rowan McDonald streaking deep, a chance to catch it. Floats just enough, going downwind. A beautiful pass.
Austin Bartenstein putting
put
that.
it. That's right.
Yeah, it was perfect. Great timing, great speed. The wind got like a little extra time for Rowan to get there, and
I was waiting for a big layout, but he didn't even need to. Between those legs and that wind, he caught right up. So I think as we see the game go on, we're also going to see, just like that, players learn to use the wind a little bit more.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you because
No, that's quite all right. I think as we see this game go on, we're also going to see players learning to use the wind a little better as well.
Of course, you adjust yourself.
The wind really foiled the first quarter and almost the first half of the game here, as we're halfway through the second quarter at this point.
Yeah, at this level, mistakes, if you make some, you need to learn fast from it.
Learning to use the wind to put the disc where you need to will be very valuable. And a half-field throw, unfortunately, out of the breeze there, and half-field out of bounds nonetheless. So it's going to put the Montreal at the opposing 35-yard line with a real chance at a short field.
Gabriel Monfette picks up the disc, an inside throw, but too far. Turnover.
Yeah, poorly timed there almost more than anything. And the Breeze defense trying their craft. Blake lets it go.
Andre Arsenault, big defense.
Wow, Arsenault made up 3 steps and takes it away. But unfortunately, motioning immediately to the trainer, might be an injury there, just impacting the ground after a big bid.
Oh my God, it's never fun to see a player coming off the field like that, especially Andre Arsenault as a big defense player.
Yeah, an important cog to the Montreal defensive squad. Arsenault has 9 blocks on the year. And actually, I say he's an important cog of the defensive line. He is, but he's actually the player that splits his time most between the offense and defensive line. He makes both those units operate for Montreal.
So he's kind of the Chuck Cantone of the Montreal Royale.
The Chuck Cantone of the Montreal Royale is what they're calling him, that's right.
So a long pass for Nate Dandurand that goes out of bounds. He was, Check Canton was on him. I'm not sure who did put that.
Breeze disc at this point, Shields in the middle. Egan now. Shields pinned in just a little bit. Canton getting some horizontal movement.
A floater cut by Austin Bartenstein.
Yeah, real nice read out of Bartenstein there. Again, kind of learned the wind a little bit.
Oh, nice catch
And
by...
Richard gets a catch, but I think we heard a whistle, and Stanley called a timeout. He didn't like what he was seeing out of the kind of the downfield stagnation, was my guess. The second and final one of the Breeze in this half. Montreal staying quiet on the timeout front.
Yeah, but I think the difference in points between the two teams is better than it was. I think Montreal is getting more and more consistent as the game go on, and it's getting more interesting as well.
The Breeze are definitely still breaking the Montreal O-line, but Montreal is breaking back now, and that's going to be important to making any sort of run at this thing as the game goes on.
Yep. Montreal this year, their offensive style is more about cutting in the middle. That gives more liberty to the cutters, but as well more chemistry. So looking forward to see what kind of offense they will keep on bringing to the game.
So we see Neely, Norbum, Castle, Lloyd Blake all enter the game on behalf of the Breeze. We've got Wodach still in there. Alexander Taylor also on the field for the Breeze.
So he pretty much changed the whole line there.
Yeah. And I'm confused. Maybe Alexander wears 81, and maybe I'm mixing this up, but I do feel like that's also Matt Kerrigan's number. And I can't help but wonder if there's been a uniform swap. I know Matt Kerrigan last weekend had a shoulder injury, and I wonder if someone didn't do their laundry today. It's got Taylor written on the back, though, so it can't possibly be. I must be mixing up Kerrigan's number.
Yeah, it's Alexander Taylor.
I know, yeah. I was just unaware if Kerrigan didn't pass off the jersey.
Ah, yeah.
And then Wodach, threatening. Oscar Monroe, who goes right back to Wodach. Nice give and go by the Breeze duo.
Yeah, I believe with Wodach, that's the way to go. Give and go. He's so fast. He has sure hands. It's
yeah, and whatever's going on with his throws this year, that a lot of turnovers. Best to get him dumping it to Monroe and getting it right back himself.
Yeah, let's
look at the score. It'll work either way.
Yeah, let's stay positive on the good stuff, like the one we just saw. But yeah.
So going against the wind now, the Montreal O-line will give it a go. One of the sponsors I did not mention out of the gate today that I'd like to is Layout Ultimate. Layout Ultimate makes an official DC Breeze branded glove, and I encourage you to check them out. They're available online. If you're gonna wear some gloves, make them fashionable with Layout gloves. That's my own motto for Layout. All right, with possession in the backfield, the Montreal Royal go to attack. And it's
Long
a big throw right away. Nasser the target here. Marcus Dahl drawing a lot of contact, getting hit in the face. And almost his own fault because he was blind to where the disc was, running around a little bit. I think they're talking it out a little bit. Thal didn't like it at first, but I think when he sees the replay, he'll realize this is Nasser's disc. All right, Nasser to start possession here. No penalties or anything like that called. He breaks.
To Antoine Genet.
Genet on the near sideline. Ooh, a cheeky little throw out of Genet. Underneath his defender's arm. Finds, was that Ria Paul? No, sorry.
No, I don't know how to pronounce his name, number 8.
You don't need to admit that. With your French accent, anything you say right now is going to be great.
Yeah, no, but he's not from Quebec.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think it would still be fine.
So with a French accent, it would be
Vaupel or
Vaupel.
we'll give him both. We'll give him the both sides of the border treatment.
We can call him Mike for today.
We can call him Mike. 3 minutes 12 here in the second quarter. And it was still, I mean, a 70-degree summer day here in the district, but as we approach dusk, it's cooling off a little bit more. I don't think it will really affect the players. If anything, maybe help players cool down. And you can see the stadium lights also coming on here at Hotchkiss Field. Lloyd Blake gunning again. Wodach easily reels that one in.
Number 45.
Yeah, it was a perfect throw. I believe Jean-Philippe Riopel on defense on Wodach. Well, it was the first long cut of the day for Wodach, but I believe Riopel should be aware that Wodach is their long threat.
Yeah. It was, I think it was Kevin Grove that bit really hard on the under there, unable to keep up.
Great put by Lloyd Blake.
And we see the classic D-line take the field for Montreal. Is Nasser crossing over at this point? I feel like I've seen Nasser on a lot of lines for Montreal.
Yeah, I believe Montreal is mixing their line a lot.
They're mixing the lines a lot?
Yeah, I think tonight, but I haven't been very careful about which player was on offense and is on defense and vice versa, but...
Yeah, I guess also when you're getting broken, you're going to mix it to find what works.
Yep. So Montreal on offense, Genet. Long throw to number 8, Mike, again.
Antoine Genet lost it up, really floating. And of course, Rowan McDonald right back in the mix again. Not even his man that time, just came out of nowhere, made up the ground, made it happen. Defenses are going to need to start taking note of where McDonald sets up on the field. And he lets one fly. Shields, Richard. And it is Shields that speeds up, accelerates onto the disc, gets the score. McDonald the assist.
Yes, nice catch. He had lots of pressure. The defender on his back. Very good catch.
Nice little point out of McDonald there, getting that D and then running upfield to let that one fly.
Yeah, this player has a good way of staying cool in almost every situation, I believe. Rowan is an exceptional player for that. You often see players making big playouts, big plays on defense, and then turning it right after on offense.
All right, Montreal has to be looking at the scoreboard and saying, you know, we gotta keep this thing in check. I mean, there are plenty of 4- and 5-point runs in the AUDL. Today we could easily be saying another one of those. But if you let the game slip too much more than that, you're in trouble. Montreal's gotta start earning their fair share of the points. Montreal now with the disc.
Nathan Dandurand.
Dandurand goes upfield and throws it into trouble. Marcus Stahl picks it off. And Marcus Stahl, the recipient of a Corey Broyles throw.
That was a great poach. Double happiness, like we call in Montreal, when you get the D and you score right after.
Double happiness.
Yeah, I guess Nathan didn't saw that player at all. It was right into
Single
his hands.
sadness for Montreal, though. They've got to figure out something that works here, and they take a timeout to try to straighten things out. So one of the things that you and I were talking about a little bit, and you mentioned at the beginning of the game, is kind of the coaching situation for Montreal this year.
Yeah.
They brought in a new coach.
They don't have any. Well, the head coach is Guylaine Girard.
Right. And she was new to the team this year. Is that correct?
No.
Oh, no.
This year was her second year.
Okay, this year's her second year.
Yeah.
But so this year, between a pregnancy and and an assistant coach.
Yeah,
that-
the assistant coach was Caroline Cadet, but she is
and
super
she
pregnant.
she did the road trip the other weekend to New York and Philadelphia.
Yep.
But now they have Jean-Lévy Champagne in the mix.
Yeah, well, Caro Cadet took over in February when Guylaine got out of the game for, I think, health-related reasons. But Christian Mathieu was helping as well in the coaching, but he's Caroline Cadet's partner. So mainly.
So anyway, the bottom line of all this is to say that it's kind of been an all-hands-on-deck approach for the Montreal in this
Yeah,
early
well,
season.
I think that mainly the owners.
Which might be tough for a team in this early season to, like, you know, the exact way that you use word or structure an offense may change day to day, and hopefully everyone's on the same page, but
Right.
still the way someone conveys a message or what you're supposed to be doing might change a little bit, and that may be hard on a team. I don't know.
Yeah, but all those players played together on Odyssey, I believe in 2013, a mixed team that won the U.S. Nationals. They all played together. They all coached together the Montreal Royals.
So
I
you think at
believe
this point they share a mind?
absolutely that's what I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so the only reason is that I speak from my little bit of experience and having changed a head coach midway through my season in the AUDL, and it was tough. I mean, granted, they were two different regimes with very different plays, but even the way that someone conveys an idea or how to cut, the nuance of it may be a little bit of doublespeak, or maybe changes the way you do something that your thrower's not expecting you to move that way.
Yeah, of course. But I believe and hope they really coach as a team, which would make sense with the experience they have
Sure.
altogether.
So here we see Quinlan El Nasser with the disc for Montreal.
Dump to Antoine Genet.
Nice swing. And back on the near sideline, it's Delisle.
Delisle.
Delisle. Here's Saunders with the disc now, looks upfield, finds Delisle. Delisle, no fake required, finds Nasser underneath. Nice break of the mark on the inside. Here's Nasser again. And Nasser fakes out Thal on the inside to find Delisle on the outside. And another break. Delisle just abusing the inside of his marks. 44 on the end zone line. Shoots and finds
Mike, number 8.
Velpel.
Again? Yep.
1 minute remaining in the second first half.
Well, that was a good find.
That was a long point. They really had to work for it, but we need to see the Montreal start holding like that. No turnovers, a clean point. Looked really nice out of the Royale.
Yeah.
And I really think it was enabled, and correct me what you saw out there, but it was by Delisle that really enabled it. He was touching the disc every third throw or so, and he really used the inside of the mark well. Underneath that front hand, found whoever he wanted on a third of the field that really shouldn't be his business throwing to.
Yeah, Félix Antoine is a very brilliant guy, and he owns that game. So of course, when he does manage to the offense, you're in good hands with Félix
And then you
Antoine.
see him step up for the rest of this game to keep moving the disc so nicely.
Yeah, Félix is as well an awesome defensive player, but I guess he can be on every line.
Ooh, and Neely lets that disc drop. A really nice pull out of Montreal after we said the primary options were not active. Monroe dumps to Neely. Costa Castle. Wodach to Castle. Looks upfield, thought about it, thought better of it. Now on the near sideline, Nam underneath the Wodach. Nam gesturing big, wants it back. Castle, far sideline, floats, not a problem. Castle guns.
Alexander Tyler was wide open. Great catch over to Montreal player. It was André Arsenault, and I can see the other one.
It hung, but it didn't matter. Taylor gets up.
Yeah, he was left wide open. I don't know what happened there. I guess miscommunication.
If anything, the throw was not nearly as precise as it could have been. He was wide open, should have been direct to him.
Yeah.
The fact that 2 defenders were able to catch up to it,
Yeah,
good on Taylor to make it not matter.
the wind, so those floaters, I guess good experience can help a lot for those windy games. Lots of experience, I mean.
So we've got 18 seconds on the clock. Montreal could sure use another one going into half. You see the sideline setting up for our halftime games that go on. We've got a Papa John pizza box toss. Win Pizzas come out to a game at Gallaudet with us.
We see all the tall
throw
guys.
go up from Montreal, so from DC, you see Cody Broyles and Shields streaking down the field, trying to put on some early pressure. The clock starts ticking, 17 seconds, easily beaten. It's Delisle now with the disc. To number 80, it's Gru. It's gonna be Janae maybe, no? Who's gonna put the throw? It's Delisle, chooses an outside in, it's floating. Time expires.
Oh,
And it is caught.
number 8
That
again.
is the kind of push that the Royal really needed. It's Velpel that gets up over Lloyd Blake, despite a few inches difference. Makes no difference.
Yeah, well, that was a super good floater again by Antoine Degg, but that's the type of play we do at the end of a half
Kind of
of
how
a
the time
quarter.
the game goes, right?
Yeah. But
So
it's
we-
starting to be exciting.
Do you like Papa John's?
So it's a 5-point difference going into our 15-minute halftime here. Do you have any early thoughts? Anything you want to say? We're gonna maybe take a sip of water here at halftime, but if you've got any thoughts, let's get them off your chest now.
Well, I believe Montreal with number 8. I believe this player is dominating most of the DC players. So I believe if they play with him more, maybe that can help to reduce the point difference between the two teams.
Yeah, if there's a willingness to kind of play the hot hand, who's having a big day today?
Exactly.
Velpel is really doing great out there. I really like the way that Delisle's Delisle is opening up space, is throwing the underneath break. Matthew McDonald's having a heck of a game for the Breeze.
Yeah.
We'll see if those 3 players keep playing the way they are and who's going to come out ahead of this thing. But in the second half, Montreal has their work cut out for them.
All right, yeah.
All right, we'll be back in just 10 short minutes here.
That's one.
All right, we are back here for blown coverage. Once again, this is Greg Esser, and I'm of course alongside Françoise Delisle. Franco, how you doing?
Very good. Looking forward for the second half.
Second half, Montreal currently down by 5. It's going to be Breeze possession right away. Monroe the target here, and he catches it inbounds. Very nice work by Monroe on a throw that almost got away a little bit from Max Castle. Runs it to 6, very quick. Montreal need to put the brakes on and get some breaks.
Yep. I believe André Arsenault is back on the field from his injuries, so it's good for Montreal. They need to, like you said, convert every time they are on offense.
Yep, so Arsenault, the catalyst of the first half a little bit with that huge layout we saw. Hopefully going to be an AUDL top 10 with that one. But he did leave kind of holding his leg a little bit, so back in the game is good news.
Definitely. So now Austin Bartenstein with the pull for DC Breeze.
Bartenstein, big outside in, hanging around half. That wind's still healthy, and it scoots out of bounds where a referee puts it right back inbounds, but not a lot of yardage out of that. Again, giving Montreal kind of the short court here to start possession. Do you think about it any differently as a player if you've only got 40 yards to go as opposed to 60 or 80?
Well,
Would
it
you
depends
run
on your
any
coach,
different offense?
I believe.
Depends on the coach?
Yeah, I think the closer you get to the end zone, sometimes the more excited, according to the experience of the player might be. So, but I believe when you take the disc half field like that, you just keep with your regular offense till you get at the door of the end zone.
Nasser's got the disc, dumps off to Janae. Antoine. Antoine shoots. And needed to lay out earlier, maybe, did Velpel. He's another catalyst for Montreal in this early game. Got the height, got the length.
Yeah.
Didn't quite leave his feet early enough on that catch, or missed catch.
The DC Bridge switched their defensive player. Now it was Chuck Cantone on number 8 instead of being on Quinlan during the first half.
Maybe making that tactical switch after 8 shine so much.
I believe so, yep.
Richards, big out-of-bounds throw. Richards not a typical thrower, so interesting to see him take that initiative and that look, thinking that Rowan McDonald could bail him out, but out of bounds isn't going to be caught either way. Far sideline, Quinlan opting for the hammer. Velpel, the target. He'll get one either way, and Montreal converts their offensive point.
Yeah, Montreal had 2 open players for Quinlan on that play, with Quentin Bonneau as well. I think DC Breeze didn't have time to adjust on defense on that break.
Yeah, that was a good use of kind of the turnover and the momentum from a turnover to quickly start on offense before maybe the defense had entirely realized a turnover had occurred. And yeah, that's how you get a lot of separation from your person.
Yep. You have 2 different styles. You either are looking to do those fast break or keep your cool and set your offense play, but yeah, depends on the coach.
That was kind of the example of the fast break. Good bit of terminology for Ultimate. Blake now with the disc, gives it to Wodach. Upfield for Wodach, Ryan Nam. Ryan Nam shoots. Castle.
Great defense.
Not able to get it.
Was it a defense?
Up and over the top 5, but no.
Oh, okay. I missed
Quinton.
that play.
That was a great play. Castle bodied up thinking that he could box out Bonneau, but Bonneau gets up over the top, nets himself a block.
Yeah, I think it was Joseph Genet on the block.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Kevin Grou with the big hammer completed.
Not to be outshone by his teammate, dials one up, and
I'm not sure.
Valet catches it in the end zone.
Oh yeah, Francis Valet, yeah. Francis Valet, who presented a Callahan video this year, very good quality video. I believe he's the first one from Quebec to do that, but I'm not certain.
So you can head to YouTube and find that. And see some more big plays from Valet.
Yeah. Francis Valet from Quebec City, the capital of the province of Quebec and not Montreal. So I guess those players from Quebec, they do travel for practices and all.
So that's a break for Montreal, and that takes it within 4. Hopefully they can use the seeds of that to kind of plant the future here. They'll need a break or 2 more to tighten this up, tighten the screws. It's Bloodgood now receiving the disc for the Breeze. Upfield to Bartenstein. Underneath. McDonald, big fake. Quarterbacking a little bit, but throws it away. Bartenstein and him miscommunicated a little bit. Another chance for Montreal, and a good one, 10 yards out.
Francis Valet picks up the disc, hammer.
Turning into the hammer team here when it's crunch time, but Valet finds Nate Castine, not his man.
Yeah, it was for Joseph Genet, but it was too short, a little.
Here's McDonald, picks up Castine, the target, near sideline. Cantone sliding into second base, scooping it up. Dumps off to Bloodgood. Bloodgood around.
Oh, big.
Some contact on the mark between McDonald. McDonald has drawn a lot of contact tonight, but no foul's been called. Here's Cantone. He shoots. Richards. Runs into the end zone. Beautiful catch. Really nice finesse by Chuck Cantone on that throw. Looked like it might go a little quick, but it held up perfectly to let Richards almost walk onto it. A stroll in the park.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a very.
That's how all my romantic novels start. A romantic stroll in the park with Joe Richards.
Yeah, I believe Richard is a really good target. I believe his role would be very more of impact downfield compared to maybe as a handler.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him try his hand at both tonight, and catching in the end zone seems more effective. But isn't it always? So despite the gifted disc, the Royale are unable to convert the 10-yard pass needed. And they'll start on offense now, still down by 5. It's Janae, beautiful breaking between both defenders. And now you see Delisle with the disc. Delisle, a little give and go. Beautiful grab by Delisle, having to leave his feet to reel it in ultimately. Really nice movement out of the Montreal backfield. And we see 33 with the disc, of course, that's Saunders. Saunders opts big, cross field. Here's Janae again, underneath. Nasser now, so a give and go with Quinlan. This is the energy that this squad has kind of lacked a little bit tonight, and you see a lot better movement out of this play.
Yep, it's
Saunders, and now back with
Félix Antoine.
Nasser only 2 yards out and finds Delisle. What do you think of that? That didn't look like the same team we watched all day.
Yeah, I believe Jean-Lévy told them to do small passes, work between the handlers until someone gets open, probably under, and we saw that the handlers worked it up the field with some cutting in the middle. Big work from the handlers, small passes, very effective, no high stall. Very good job from Montreal offense. Yeah,
sometimes the stall might not even got set up at all. You say high stall, I don't know if the referees were even giving a stall.
Yep,
they were releasing before they set a pivot. And so it takes a pair or maybe a trifecta of hammers, but then Montreal changed the style entirely to the short game, march it right up the field, and we'll see what a defensive unit can do for the Royale. Norbum fields a bouncing, blading pool. Kicks it up to Blake. Blake, big, lanky, around, finds Monroe. Monroe guns. Wodatch, double coverage.
André Arsenault again with a big defense over Wodatch.
Arsenault, man.
Yeah.
He...
strong, solid young player.
Went up strong for sure. And Montreal goes deep.
Tyler Monroe.
Push and shove, but 18 gets there. It's David Ferraro, dumps it off, gets it back, Ferraro does. Now he's 5 yards out. A fake, can't get around Monroe. Opts for an inside pass. Beautiful to number 21, David Monfet. Monfet? Monfet. I can use the T in that one?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I'll check my French T's with the master.
If you don't know,
yeah, master of French. You mean not master ultimate player.
Nicely done.
Not that piece of paper.
So they bring it within 3. The Royal now within 3.
That person's gonna have a chance to win 5
after a pair of breaks that they get at the expense of a DCO line. I think we're going to see Stanley really change it up here again, like Stanley always does, putting out a more D-line heavy point after breaks, not allowing the same players to get broken twice. We see Cantone out on the field. We see Ryan Swift. We see Joe Richards. Nate Castine, definitely a more defensive-looking line, also with Bartenstein joining the crew.
Yeah, I think it's Nate Castine first game today.
That's right. So he's been injured all year, and this is his first 2017 action. Bartenstein can't get through the double coverage. It goes down to single coverage. Stall count remains. It gets high. And he throws it away.
That's too bad. That was a Chuck Cantone wide open just before. So Montreal with the disc. Kevin Grou pass from Francis Valley, and a timeout called by Montreal, I guess.
Montreal calls a timeout. They're down by 3, and they're taking the opportunity to maybe stud this line with some more offensive players, put the Breeze out of sorts. They already had their defensive line on the field, and this is probably a good tactical decision. D-line's not going to sub out a lot. Stanley will leave those guys out there, but the Breeze will put out their O-line, so it's not D-line on D-line. It's the more classic offense line that looked so good last time, taking advantage of that D-line.
Yeah, I believe they're going to put the Phoenix Antoine Genet to work again, but they don't have all the field to go up, so...
And Steve Bonneau, the Frenchman, also enters the field and the huddle.
Yeah, I heard he's from France. I heard we're supposed to say Steve Bonneau, which sounds weird for me too.
Yeah,
but,
that does sound weird to my Washingtonian ear.
Me too, but you know.
But Steve Bonneau, or Steve Bonneau, has a 90% completion percentage and 12 assists on the year, not to mention a few that he's picked up today. So he is a guy that makes this offensive line tick.
Yeah, another great French import for Montreal.
The third quarter is half gone as we sit at 6 minutes here. And we see Delisle walk over to pick up the disc.
We get some interesting matchup on the field right now.
That's right, these are matchups we don't necessarily see all game. Wow, and a lot of contact. Arsenault reaches through trouble with Cantone and picks up the disc. And 20,
Nathan D'Arturand.
a punt spike for Dan Dureau. I'll anglicize that one because it's a tricky one. But 3 breaks in a row for Montreal.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this is looking like a pretty tight game.
Yeah, that's a good thing for people in the bleachers.
The next point I'm going to call for the...
We always love more competitive games. It's always better when the score is closer.
Yeah, certainly it's going to bring this crowd back to life, and they're going to get to see a tight matchup here in the district tonight.
Yeah, on the last play they left André Arsenault wide open. I think Chuck Cantone was almost there for AD, but the poach was maybe a little too far.
Yeah, so at risk of being redundant though, I think it was really a great strategic play by Champagne to call that timeout on that last point and mix up those lines and make sure the rush converted the 3rd break in a row. Stanley's got to be reeling on the sideline right now. I see him being pretty calm, but he's got to be thinking, how do we get back in the scoring column?
Yeah, agreed. I think Jean Lévy just took perfect decision with the timing for his timeouts and the switch of the players he made.
Lloyd Blake with a disc for the Breeze. And a stumbling backfield, has to go upfield, finds
Alexander Taylor.
Taylor back to Blake. Big around, hangs. Neely's got to get up. He doesn't. 14, Joseph Genet with a great play and gets a block. Lloyd Blake gets it back to add to his team leading blocks. That's a gift though. Not all blocks are created equal. Wodach, double coverage once again. Arsenault in the neighborhood. And it's picked up by Monroe streaking on. Wodach has to hustle to go deep again. He's out of gas. Neely with the disc. A bump and grind, 10 yards awarded.
Contact call.
Some exciting ultimate as the game gets within 2. I think you were right. The Notre Dames. Knowing this game would only get intense and exciting with a close score.
Yeah, of course.
Monroe, big open, a lot of respect they gave Monroe on that one. And he puts his man on the ground with a great fake. Blake now. Dumps off to Monroe. Back to Blake. Near sideline in the corner, 5 yards out. And an easy one to Max Castle underneath, just inside the lip of the end zone.
Yeah, great cut by Castle. He had a great defender on him, Jean-Philippe Riopel, but he kind of just stopped his acceleration to get open.
Yeah, a little stutter step move almost.
Yep.
Well, not that one.
And the Breeze really needed that one. I mean, even though they were up the entire time, it was certainly looking a little grim there after 3 breaks in a row.
Yeah, if some players are more comfortable with a a big advance, a big difference in points. Yeah, that's good for DC.
Yeah, and but once again, it wasn't as clean of a point as it could have been. It was really a loft up to Wodach that really was deed. Arsenault was all over it. It was really Monroe's just game sense that won it back.
Yeah, I think it was, you're right. I think it was deed. Both players couldn't get to the disc. It was, when you jump before to prevent your offensive player to get the disc. And Tyler Monroe picking it up behind.
All right, we see Montreal with the disc. Guns it through the center, Janae does, but can't find a laying out Kevin Quinlan.
So DC with the disc, Chuck Cantone on the line. Up the line to Rowan. But Richard gets it. Big layout to save the play.
What a play that was. Joe Richards laying out, snagging the disc. And it's a 2-point run by DC. When things look darkest, we see a little bit of dawn.
So I believe the intended receiver was Rowan McDonald for this pass. So I believe we got a little lucky. Well, the DC Breeze got a little lucky on this play.
That's 2 in a row.
But like we said at the beginning of the game, what is different with the win is the second chance you can have, which Richard took on the last play. So Deg with the disc.
Janae now. Upfield finds Nasser. See if we can't get a cleaner offense out of the Royale. So Bernard goes upfield to Quinlan. Quinlan, a fake as Bartenstein ran onto it. Now we're on the near sideline. Bernard guns for the end zone. And once again, up in the air, it's Rowan McDonald. You can't get by this guy.
Yeah, it was
the target.
Quentin Bonneau intended and pass for the captain, Kevin Quinlan, but deed by Rowan McDonald.
Yeah, Rowan McDonald caught up quick and got up quick. And now Rowan McDonald with the disc. Bartenstein. Thal doing a
great defense by Antoine Genet.
Genet wins it right back, is exactly right. Here's Genet again. He goes over the top, and this time he gets by Thal and Rowan McDonald. Nasser collects the disc, gets a point.
Yeah, I believe right after that defense, big momentum for Genet and Montreal Royal. Yeah, very exciting play by Genet.
It was a very exciting play. I really thought Thal beat his mark very creatively. Did that split, he got low, but it wasn't creative enough because it almost looked like Genet expected it. He ran right through, he had a step on, the second the disc was up, he already had a step on it, and he quickly converted the block. 2 minutes, 37 seconds in the third quarter. We got a 3-point game here in DC.
The guy who looks a lot like him, he's a young guy. He was playing high school last year. He's got talent.
Breeze O-line. Neely collecting. Lloyd Blake. Norbum fakes big, draws the coverage to find Wodach under. Wodach shooting now. Blake, a little too much for Blake. And Wodach, again with a turnover, something that's plagued him here in the 2017 season.
So the Montreal D-line on offense right now.
An 81% completion percentage for Wodach going in.
Great
and
catch.
Blown coverage right out the gate. Number 5 streaking deep. That's Jordan Taylor.
Pass by number 20, Nate Dandurand.
And here's Bernard, Steve. Bonneau, nice creative inside break.
I believe to Gabriel Monfette.
And there was a lot of lot of contact on that. Monroe gets a block. I wouldn't have been surprised to see that disc go back, though, because he hit hard right into, I think that was Arsenault, isn't that right?
You're right. Yeah, there's a lot of contact today that are
He got the disc first for sure.
Yep.
But usually you're trying to prevent that even after the contact of the disc.
Absolutely.
In the non-contact sport that we play.
Yep. For example, at the Worlds game, I believe any contact, even if it's after the play, is a foul.
Yeah. And that's often the case when it's particularly violent contact like that. Norbum, after a couple throws, ends up with a disc for the Breeze. Neely, Wodach. Wodach had a streaking Zach Norbum. The crowd wanted him to be hit. Taylor now with a similar opportunity.
Wise decision by Wodach, though?
I think so. Wodach is showing that that's a tougher throw for him over the last couple games, and he should build that completion percentage and also not have to go the entire way across the field in the stack.
Yeah, especially with the wind changing direction, stopping, going back on. Even the best handler must be careful with those long throws.
That is very true. As much as I think the wind has maybe subsided a little bit, it started to swirl and make it very unpredictable. So we see Breeze call a timeout. There are 40 seconds remaining in the quarter, and we're seeing a lot of those defenders come out of the game, and a more classic, well, a little mix, a mix of O&D players. Castine on the field, Cantone on the field, Nam, McDonald, Bloodgood form the line for the Breeze. And it looks like Lopresti in the huddle with them. Stanley's still on the sideline. Lopresti with a pat on the back, and he heads off the field, clipboard in hand. The Breeze return to the disc with 70 yards to go. Bartenstein gonna pick up. Valet on the mark, as well as Martinez for the Royale.
So we've seen this new style of double team this year, like more sandwich style.
Yeah,
So
it's getting a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
What?
What do you make of that?
What do we?
What do you make of that? What do you think?
Hammer, scuba. What do you make out of it?
What I mean, what do you make of the more aggressive style? You think people are throwing scoobers? What would you do?
Well, honestly, I think
Turnover,
you just have to
royal
fake,
disc.
and every handler seems to manage to get the disc, even if there's 2 marks on them. So I'm still wondering why teams are still doing it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you have one guy in front of you, so you just have one guy to...
Huge layout there by Rowan McDonald, getting his 3rd block of the night, I think. 4th block, maybe even. I don't know. I'm losing count. It's getting high enough.
Yeah.
And the time had expired, which we could have informed you of, but we were too busy talking about the double team.
Yeah.
That's quite all right. Some blown coverage here, true to our name.
Yeah, I believe anyways we watch the game as we see, so...
We become spectators. So we're going into the final quarter. We've got a short little break here for the Breeze. One of the things that goes on at the Gallaudet games for the Breeze going into the 4th quarter is a promotional event, which is a 5K challenge put on by our sponsors, who I'll remind you, thank you so much for helping us out in 2017. Port City Brew, Layout Gloves, Papa John's Pizza, Discraft, Boone Technical Clothing, MedStar, Sports Medicine Provider. Those are the kind of sponsors that make tonight happen. And the event here is the attempt to hit a mannequin with a frisbee. If you hit it from 5 yards, you get a t-shirt, but then if you hit it from 50 yards, you get $5,000. So here she tries for the 5 yards. Let's see if she can get a t-shirt. We've got one of the fans that's chosen at random. She gets the mannequin. She gets the t-shirt. Now she's gonna head back to that 50-yard line. I believe she's gonna get 2 throws from the 50-yard line here.
I can't help myself, but saying that in the semi semi-pro movie featuring Will Ferrell. They have that game of the same game, and the franchise doesn't have the money, and someone wins the thing. And it's a very funny movie. And yeah, there are some similarities.
So I believe she's actually playing for like season tickets. You can go to the 50-yard line and go for the 5K,
okay.
and she opts for only 20 yards out. I think it's season tickets. It's windy enough out there. The mannequin is blowing over though.
Yeah.
It's a real true to your semi-pro reference. We're having some on-the-field debacles. Our mannequin may be headless now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. I've been trying to train myself in case my ticket
Number comes up?
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Oh, and she's just short, but she has one more throw. So here's the 50K throw. Here's the 50K throw. Or sorry, 5K. And she's 10 yards short. It's a hard throw to make.
Give a big old hand for Megan there.
It's a hard throw to make for Megan.
Yeah. Really hard.
All right, but let's get back to the game here. We got a 3-point difference. The score is 18-15 in favor of the DC Breeze, which 3 points is significant, but actually in the larger picture of this game, that's getting a little tight. And Montreal, I think, did make up 2 points in that third quarter. So if the Breeze repeat the performance, Montreal catch up by 2 more. We got ourselves a very tight game that could go either way here in DC.
Yeah, the Breeze must be careful with the fact that sitting on your advance can lead to a loss, of course. So yeah, everybody has to stay up and be very active to keep that difference for the DC Breeze.
So the 3-point difference, and in addition, Montreal starts with possession.
Genet with the disc.
Janae opts underneath. Quinlan under pressure, but scoops it up. Delisle now, back to Quinlan. Upfield, finds Vapel. Vapel, big, wide pivots. Back to Delisle. And out around, finds Janae. Janae to Nasser. Delisle. And sliding in, but retaining possession, I think, Saunders. Almost looked like it might have hit the ground there. Janae, inside break that Janae has been doing so well today. Delisle right on the end zone line. It's Quinlan. Quinlan pivots, Scuber, back to Delisle. And again, this Montreal offensive line is only looking stronger as the night goes on.
Yep, we saw again great handlers movement, playing mainly between them and going up the field like that, pretty efficiently in fact. Moving the disc, using the larger field very well.
And if the Montreal offense is taking off tonight, not only do the Breeze need to be concerned, but also New York should be concerned because they have this matchup tomorrow in New York City. Montreal on the precipice of a 2-game road trip. Today DC, tomorrow the Big Apple.
Right, and I believe they have their revenge to take against New York. Their last game was not very successful on the offensive side of it.
You're absolutely right. The last game in New York for Montreal was a 21-8 blasting at the hands of the Empire.
Yeah, I believe it's the lowest number of points scored in the history of the franchise.
And actually, I think the second lowest in the history of the league.
Oh.
Detroit put up a 7, but an 8, well, for a full-time game. There have been some shortened games played due to lightning. And Wodach, again having trouble finding his deep targets, throws it away again, this time Nam, his intended recipient. I don't know, for Stanley watching Wodach throw away a couple today, pull him aside, talk about roll. You don't want to lose that guy from the field, but
Montreal back on offense.
Throwovers like that, not going too well at this point in the game. So Montreal takes a turn with the disc, sliding in Taylor.
Reset to Audrey Arsenault.
Arsenault looks, pivots, opts for a big one. Taylor gets up but can't get up enough. as that one floats. The wind played with it just a little bit.
Yeah, I believe Lloyd's leg pressure on him made him jump a little too fast.
Yeah, a 6'5" man applying pressure
Yep.
is not to be overlooked. Monroe gets dirty, but scoops it up. Opts for a scuba. Neely looks deep, opts back to Monroe. Monroe making up a lot of ground, big, sweeping outcut, then in-cut, shoots for Castle, finds him.
Great score. Castle was left open. I believe Nathan Dandurand was on the guy, but I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, Castle found some separation there. I didn't see how the cut progressed, but Monroe quickly took advantage. So the trick now for Montreal is also with this 3-point deficit. We've seen this offense work really well, but we've also seen it take some time to work. It's been a lot of small throws, and at this point in the game, you almost want to even function more efficiently. It's not only scoring, but can you score quick? Get that D-line back on the field, get that Breeze offensive line constantly working out on the field, grind them down. We'll see what Montreal can do. Delisle picks up the disc, shoots underneath to Quinlan. Quinlan far sideline. Some fakes with no disc in the hand. No one's biting.
Bono with the disc.
Bono with a Tech 9, as they'll call it in Philadelphia. And a big hammer over the top. Of course, Quinlan's at fault, but he finds his man perfectly, just right into the waiting hands.
Yep. Phoenix Antoine Delisle, who usually plays under, was open in the end zone.
And that's the kind of efficiency we needed. That was a 20-odd second point. Put those other lines right back on the field. Make this Breeze O-line work and work down the stretch, because they haven't looked as sharp the second half.
Very well done by the Montreal offense. I believe Jean Lévy is very good at keeping his guy composed, and doing a good job at keeping possession now.
And we're getting a little Cotton Eye Joe here in the stadium. I can hear the background music rooting on the Breeze. Home field advantage goes to them. They will let the Royale enjoy the same home field advantage, I believe, in 2 or 3 weeks when the Breeze make their northernly road trip up to Canada. Castle shooting early. Wodach reels it in, and plenty of time to do so. That's the role we need Wodach playing.
Yeah.
Take the disc out of his hands because he already scored.
Great cut by Wodach.
He had separation when the disc went up, but he maybe got an extra 5 feet of separation by just taking off.
Yeah, that's very Wodach style. I remember when
Wodach style?
Yeah.
That's what they're saying on the street?
Well, he has this type of cutting
like
that is very, very aggressive. I believe his timing is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Let's put it like that.
Very good. Yeah, so that was a case of what you can do, I can do better. The Breeze O-line got out there, saw that Montreal had scored in 25 seconds. They did so in 20. We saw the time coming off the clock in chunks in the first and second quarter. Now both O-lines looking a little bit more effective, although that trend for the Breeze line, a newer one. We've got Janae with the disc, dumps a give and go in the backfield, and he opts for the swing over to Delisle. Delisle still choosing Janae, and a big layout. Can't find the disc out of Shields. Shields, though, signaling for a travel. He gets it. What awareness out of Shields to not only lay out, but also become the referee briefly. Janae cocks for a hammer. Doesn't do it. Here's Saunders. Delisle
Montreal Royal, who got...
Oh, and that is an
lost
ill-timed
yardage.
drop from Vapel, who's been nothing but secure hands this game. Rowan shoots deep immediately. McDonald does. Joe Richard finds two hands and an easy catch for a closing quickly Montreal defender. Doesn't matter though, as Bernard comes onto the disc.
Yeah, I think Delisle and Sanders were around, but again, Richard in the end zone. It's sure shot again. Sure hands.
So that was a DC line. That was a DC break.
Yep, absolutely.
So that's what the Royale need to avoid down the stretch here. One more of those, and we might be singing a different tune. And I do see on the sideline Jonathan Neely getting some attention from the trainer, stretching his leg a little bit. Hopefully not a game-ending stiffness or injury for the Breeze handler.
So Montreal offense again, Genet, Delisle to
Oh, and
Quinlan, but too short.
That one hit the ground. Quinlan dropping the disc. Came a little short, Janae did, with a scuba attempt. Quarterbacking a little bit, Blake does, picks up the disc. Pair of fakes, opts for a hammer, and nowhere near, looks like Egan gave it all he had, but didn't really come close to that over-top bullet.
Great defense by Montreal. Every players, they were all very close to.
And that's the
Breeze
toughest time to
players.
put on that good defense is right after the turn. We were talking about the transition defense and offense earlier. That was a perfect example of executing well.
Yep. Very well. Jean-Louis Champagne is a warrior. He's a disciplined guy. I'm not surprised. By the way, Montreal is playing their second half.
So we've got Montreal's O-line taking over here again. There's Delisle, Saunders, Delisle, and shooting deep. Delisle is and just short, a huge laying out. Number 44, of course, that's Quentin Bernard. But no. So they've got to go the full field with 6 minutes on the clock. Wouldn't hurt the Breeze to run off a little bit of time here, but Montreal's got to be chomping at the bit to get it back, even though this is the offensive line. Maybe that just drives them more. Here's Lloyd Blake, that central handler role he's played so much tonight. Duke, upfield to Egan. Now Castine shoots. Monroe.
Oh.
Some bump and grind. Doesn't like the contact on his back. And I shouldn't say that was Monroe. That was Austin Bartenstein.
Yep. With
Bumping and
Nassar.
grinding with Nasser in the end zone.
I believe they kind of ran together, so their feet got like all
tangled.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Or mélangé en français.
So Montreal with a third shot on this offensive line, and they're going to call a timeout, which I have to think, hey, they've only got one left, but they've got to straighten the ship right now.
Timeout. Royale.
So one of the things I always like to do towards the end of the game is have a little MVP talk. Who have you seen out there tonight that you think is worthy of at least a nomination for our blown coverage MVP?
Well, on the Breeze side, Lloyd and Rowan
He's
were
been as sound and
very
secure as
strong.
anybody.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Zach Norbaum's first game. Too.
Yep.
And on the Montreal side, well, Genet and Delisle are really leading the offense, so I believe those two players must be named.
You can tell how different our two styles are, because while I think all of those players are great candidates, I want the flashy play. And so I'm going to throw into the mix Rowan McDonald on the Breeze side. He's had a couple great blocks that have been game-changing. And then Andre Arsenault on the Montreal side. He had a huge layout that I think is worthy of a top 10 in the AUDL. He got up, went toe-to-toe with Wodach in the air and came down with a pair of blocks. I guess one didn't count as a block because Monroe ran onto it. but those are my early favorites.
Yep.
We're gonna fight at the end because
But that makes sense. Your defense, I'm offense, together makes a game.
together makes it beautiful.
But on the Montreal side, Kevin Gros, which is one of their top cutters,
Oh, and a quick drop out of Montreal though. Number 20 in and out of his hands for Dardaran.
Yeah, so I was saying Kevin Gros.
Yeah, what have you seen out of Gru today?
Well, not that much, in fact, so I'm kind of surprised about that.
The Breeze are threatening to make this a break even after the timeout. It's Marcus Thal who finds a wide open Chuck Cantone. Chuck Cantone really likes cutting to that break side of the field. I was noticing this in the last game against New York. He nets almost all of his scores by coming out of the stack, relying on his handler to break, but leaving his defender nowhere in sight.
Yeah, he's the type of player that creates lots of spacing for his teammates, but has good timing to get it when it's time. So, yeah, he's a fun player to watch.
You have a little inside knowledge on Chuck Cantone, do you not?
Say that again?
You have a little inside knowledge on Chuck Cantone, do you not?
Yeah, we happened to meet in Montreal. The reason why I'm here.
You've met him in Montreal?
Yeah.
Okay. A Chuck Cantone super fan here with me in the booth.
But let's put it like more morale support.
The clock reads 4:44. The score reads 22-17. Montreal O-line on the field.
Well, different O-line this time. New players, I believe.
It is. It's actually a lot of those D-line players after the break there. Steve
right.
Bonneau leading the defensive offensive unit to doublespeak, and Quentin Bonneau also there. And the throw goes up.
And it works.
And it works. It's a beautiful inside break. Gets over to break side despite being released on the inside of his body. And it's number 5, Jordan Taylor, that picks up his third score of the night, I believe, for Jordan Taylor.
Well, Montreal is doing a really good job on scoring faster and faster.
And they need to do that because they're still down by 4 here. What they really need is a pair of breaks.
Yep.
Hey, let's go for a quadfecta of breaks. They could use all 4 of them.
Right. Yeah, we see Jean-Lévis being very active on the sideline, going to the field to talk to his player, coming back running. The heart is there for sure.
Norbrom fields a disc for the Breeze. Monroe in the backfield, an odd place for him, but staying there. Playing a center handler while Lloyd Blake goes downfield. Maybe seeing if they can mix up their matchups. Monroe blades it around.
Nice zone offense by Montreal.
Oh, you're right. It is a zonier look than we've seen most of the night. Wodach with the under. Got bodied up a little bit by Arsenault, and it hits the kneecaps, it looks like, of Taylor there. A drop disc. So Montreal with a real shot.
Gabriel Monfette with the disc for Jean-Philippe Riopel, giving it to number
Taylor.
5. Yep.
Upfield, played a big role in this late game. He
Big
opts for a hammer.
Oh,
Laying out, beautiful catch
Arsenault.
right on the end zone line by Arsenault, and Arsenault lofts it up to number 20, Dardaran.
Yeah, what an exciting play.
Alright, guys.
The Breeze almost got the defense on Nathan Durant on the last throw by Arsenault, but they managed to keep it in.
Both of those are a game of inches.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys ready to count down? 3, 2, 1, go! Come on, man! Commit! Nate, don't give up! She blew you out of the water.
My grandmother used to make me do that with books.
All right, Montreal's got to get back out there again, and they do so with fervor as they sprint down the field. Some real hustle we're seeing out of this D-line from Montreal, knowing that these are the moments they need to win this game.
So I believe Montreal's defense is more of a zone, switching quickly to man-to-man.
We see Thal now with the disc in the backfield. Not usually the guy throwing it, so he opts for a dump. And now it's Rowan McDonald, who is a guy that's throwing it. Finds Chuck Cantone 10 yards upfield. Cantone, a fake.
Contact. Kevin Grou calling integrity rule.
That's
is
right.
That it?
That's the integrity rule. I think the referees might have been all over that one, but Grou knew immediately as well, calling his own foul. Good to see.
Grou, what an awesome athlete.
Bloodgood, Castine, far side, McDonald. You know McDonald wants to score, but he holsters it for Castine again. And now we've got Bloodgood. Big high release. Thal with the disc. Castine pivoting through contact. Finds Taylor, who goes to the end zone for Richards.
Again, Austin.
And that was
with
Bartenstein,
the assist.
Bartenstein, not Taylor.
So I guess Richard is getting more and more comfortable with his cutting to score, which is great because he's so tall. He's talented at least. Just needs to do his job.
Yeah, Richards and Norbum, the two young guys in the field we talked about a lot, and they're both looking more comfortable in this late game. The Breeze need some pick-me-up to keep their head above water as a tough Montreal defense comes pouring into the seams, and Richards is the guy to do it at this point.
Yep. Awesome.
2 minutes on the clock, 2 minutes and 4 seconds. 4 points in the home team favor.
All right, guys, ready? Let's get it! Let's get it! I said let's get it!
All right, an O-line, wow, and a diving play from 47 on the Breeze. Walden can't scoop the disc. Royale now, far sideline.
Dig to Quinlan.
And finally, those two find a connection. They've tried a couple times tonight, but the Breeze have been all over the defense on it. This time it works. Quinlan with a score.
Yeah, it was a great fake and cut going along. Didn't have much space on the line, but they managed to work it out. Almost beat by Rowan McDonald, but Montreal scored.
Yeah, Rowan McDonald always lurking close by.
Yep. I figure you've seen his fancy throws video.
Getting very fancy.
I think I like that. I like this. I like this right there, right there. Let's go free! Let's go free! Got it from my papa.
So the Breeze will be wise to take as much time as they can off the clock here. They've got 2 minutes to play with, and of course they want to score, but the ability to knock off a minute would be useful. They don't, and actually a quick drop. It looks like it was in and out of the hands of Jeff Wodach before we see a Montreal D-line pickup. Bonneau comes around to Arsenault. Arsenault up line. Lloyd Blake comes off and scoops up another D. This guy also picking up block after block today.
Yeah, great read. It wasn't his guy, but he just saw where it was going to be.
Those are the hard passes that are out into space like that, but there's not as much space as you might have thought with Lloyd Blake in the scene. Tyler Monroe a target here, and of course Monroe gets up and snags it. He dumps to Norbum. Norbum far sideline, Cantone. Cantone, Castle underneath. Castle double teamed, back to Cantone again. And here they're running some time off the clock. Blake quarterbacking, as he's done a couple times this evening. Castle.
Oh.
Wow, and a huge layout by Jordan Taylor. Jordan Taylor winning my heart with some extreme plays this point and last.
Yep. So now Montreal back on offense. Nathan Dandurand. The receiver, I think, jumped a little too fast, or maybe the pass was too far.
It was Rick Maxwell, or Maxwell Rick, I should say.
I guess an American.
It's a good guess. I can say that name. But he thought he was up. Time expires on the game here. The slow walk up by
Ladies and gentlemen,
Lloyd Blake.
runs out the clock.
We saw some friends.
We see the two teams walking onto the field here now. They're going to high five and end this thing. The final score here is 23-20 in favor of the DC Breeze. Final thoughts? Do you want to name that MVP? I'm ready to say Rowan McDonald, but I think Lloyd Blake's got good co-MVPs. Should we say co-MVPs on 3? No, you won't accept that. You're shaking your head at me.
I believe 2 MVPs is better than 1, so let's go with 2.
Sounds good. A hard-fought game out of Montreal as well here in DC. We won't see them again in 2017 here in the district, but as I mentioned, the Breeze will be going up to Montreal for a game up there. The Breeze now sit, I believe, a half game ahead in the AUDL East, 1 half game ahead of the Toronto Rush. The Royal fall to 3-3 on the year.
I think they were 2-3.
They were 2-3 before today.
So now they're 2-4.
So now sorry. Now they are 2-4 on the year. That's absolutely right. And they will have the continuation of the road trip tomorrow in New York, seeing if they can't pull out a win there against the Empire. A little redemption for them in the Big Apple. I thank you so much for joining me today, as the fans and everyone else. Franco, though, it was great to have you by my side. Your knowledge of both these teams was great, and hopefully we'll hear you again on either hot air or blown coverage.
Yeah, my pleasure. First try.
First try was a good one.
Why not?
Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Signing off for the DC Breeze here in Washington, DC, and the AUDL. Thanks a lot for listening. Adios.